Imagine, if you will, a world where your own mind becomes an enigma, where reality and hallucinations intertwine so seamlessly you can't distinguish between the two. This is the unseen reality of living with schizoaffective bipolar type 1. It's like being in a constant state of flux, where your thoughts and perceptions are on a roller coaster ride, with no way of knowing when the highs will crash into the lows. Every day is a battle, a struggle to decipher what's real from what's not. Imagine having to question your own thoughts, your own perceptions, your own sense of self. It's like being a detective in your own mind, sifting through the fog of confusion, trying to find a semblance of clarity. And then, there is the loneliness, the feeling of being alone in a crowd, the absence of someone to share this unseen reality with. That's the unseen reality of someone living with schizoaffective bipolar type 1. At the heart of this condition, there are symptoms that might seem elusive to outsiders, but are all too real for those experiencing them. Schizoaffective bipolar type 1 is a mental health condition that is often misunderstood, misinterpreted, and misrepresented. It's not just about mood swings or eccentric behavior. It's far more complex and far-reaching than that. Imagine periods of elevated mood and energy, where you feel invincible, unstoppable. You're on top of the world, brimming with ideas, plans, and projects. But then, just as suddenly, you're plummeted into a state of deep depression, where the world loses its color and everything feels heavy, exhausting. Now, add to this the experience of hallucinations. You're seeing, hearing, even feeling things that aren't there. Yet to you, they're as real as the chair you're sitting on or the air you're breathing. You're caught in a web of your mind's making, unable to distinguish reality from illusion. And then there are delusions where you believe things that have no basis in reality. Perhaps you're convinced that you have special powers or that someone is out to get you. These beliefs are not whims or fantasies. They're unshakable, deeply held convictions that shape your world and your actions. But here's the thing. These symptoms aren't consistent. They don't follow a set pattern. One person's experience with schizoaffective bipolar type 1 could be vastly different from another's. The severity, frequency, and nature of these symptoms can vary widely, making it a unique and personal journey for each individual. It's important to remember that these symptoms are not just quirks or eccentricities. They're not aspects of the person's character that can be switched on or off at will. They're manifestations of a complex mental health condition that affects every aspect of the person's life. These symptoms are not just aspects of the person's character, they are manifestations of a complex mental health condition. It's a battle not only against the mind, but also against the societal stigma that surrounds mental health. Living with schizoaffective bipolar type 1 is a struggle that far exceeds the confines of the mind. It's a fight against labels, against the misconceptions that paint individuals with this condition as crazy or evil. These harmful stereotypes don't just exist in hushed whispers or behind closed doors. They echo through the hallways of our society, creating a ripple effect of isolation and struggle for those affected. Imagine, if you will, grappling with the uncertainty of your own thoughts and perceptions, while also battling the weight of societal prejudice. The stigma exacerbates the loneliness, the fear, and the misunderstanding. It's a draconian cycle that needs to end. We need to foster understanding, empathy, and acceptance rather than perpetuating harmful stereotypes. It's time to break down these walls of prejudice and misinformation. Let's strive for a society that supports, not stigmatizes, those battling with their own minds. In the end, understanding is the key to empathy. As we've journeyed through the unseen reality of those living with schizoaffective bipolar type 1, it's clear that this condition is far from the simplified, often vilified portrayals we see in media. It's a daily struggle of distinguishing reality from hallucinations, of not being able to fully trust your own mind. We've discussed the symptoms, from manic highs to depressive lows, and the hallucinations that blur the lines between truth and illusion. We've also confronted the stigma, the misconceptions that paint individuals with this condition as crazy or evil, instead of recognizing them as people navigating an extraordinarily complex mental landscape. Let's carry this understanding forward, educate ourselves and others. Foster empathy and support for those living with schizoaffective bipolar type 1. It's by doing this that we can hope to shift societal perceptions and truly make a difference. Remember, every mind is a world of its own, and every person's reality deserves respect and understanding.